Now, I wish everyone a good day. Let's get into our analysis. Now, we closed at around 25,533. Now, the thing that concerns us is this. There will be a night opening. As far as we can see right now, on average, a gap of about 150 points to the downside is waiting for us. That corresponds to roughly around 280 or so. On the Nasdaq, let's carefully sketch it out like this. So on average, we'll have a gap of about 160 to 170 points. So what will happen next? Now, there are some characteristics on the Nasdaq. That is around 777, 555, 222, and 079. These are the main supports, meaning every 1,000 points, these are very important levels. Now, when it opens around 282 here, there's a chance it could fill the gap from there. But the most important thing for us is to enter the trade at the most accurate point. In other words, to be able to exit this loss with a minimum stop loss, to achieve maximum profit. For that, one of the most favorable points for tomorrow is as follows. When we draw it, on average, the levels range from approximately 0.790 to 132 levels will be the ideal buying zones. This is what we're talking about for tomorrow. Now, it would be more accurate to put it this way. The moment it opens, everyone sees that it opened with a minus 0.36% drop. But that's not how it works in the futures markets. If it opened at 280 now, we need to consider our 0 point as 280. We need to evaluate it starting from 282, certain things. Now, from the moment it opens at 282, there's a chance it could fill its gap. But generally, when it opens around this level, this is how they handle it. In other words, there's a selling potential down to around 132,079. Let me put it this way. So if it opens around 282 on average, the range expands by another 200 points downward. Now, our expectation is this. In the first stage, it's to buy around 212 and 0.79 on average and to maximize the benefit. So for tomorrow, going below 0.79 is very rare. It's a very unlikely scenario. But if it does fall below, it will most likely close the day above 0.79. I'm saying this as the suitable place for buying. Now look, I've opened the Bollinger Band now. Here you can see it on the Bollinger Band. The lowest daily point already corresponds to the numbers we've mentioned, right? It corresponds to around 0.79 to 1.32. This is like a rule in Nasdaq. Friends, keep this in mind. If the opening is in the negative, the chance of closing its gap might be delayed a bit, meaning it could stay that way during the session. For example, they could also do something like this. They could open at 280. They could push it down to around 25,130. They could also clear out the weak hands there. Or if it quickly closes its gap right away, I think that would be even worse. Because when it closes its gap all of a sudden, the chances of it dropping right before or during the session increase. Now, these are the levels we consider suitable for buying. Now, for the levels we consider suitable for selling, the spread is also quite wide at the top this time. So, if we put it this way, it roughly corresponds to around 25,902. So, if we sell from here, in fact, let me show you right here, 25,000. Around 25,900 are ideal regions for selling. And these regions here are ideal for buying. So if it closes above this region, it will continue upward. If it closes below, it will continue to fall. I'm saying this for the daily charts. So I'm talking about this for daily closes, but it would be more accurate to put it this way. Now, let me take a moment to show you my detailed prediction right here. If you happen to have any further questions on your mind at all, please feel free to also message me directly on Telegram anytime. At any time. If we consider this point as our opening in case of another drop, 25,079 to 25,132 would be a very ideal buying point for tomorrow. Now, if they push it below this level before the session, in any case, we will be expecting a close above around 0.79. For selling, around 25,908 will be tomorrow a suitable area for selling. And it will also bring in good profits. So the important thing here is not to jump into a trade as soon as the market opens. It's better to watch for a while. Now, I've been trading in this market for 20 years. I've never seen the market run away anywhere. In other words, opportunities will always present themselves to us. That's why I think we have to make the best use of our money. And to get the maximum benefit, there's nothing else to do but this. Like I said, there are some characteristic features here. Right now, things are a bit tense anyway. As you know, there's a presidential change in the US, and there are also some developments with Iran. So it's important to enter from the right points. If we try to enter from the right points, I think we'll all get the maximum benefit. Thank you all very much. I would like you to follow my channel. I think this week will go well. I wish you all a good day. As I mentioned earlier, if you have any questions on your mind, you can also message me on Telegram. See you soon. And finally, let me say this. Let me draw our prediction. I think this way some things will become clearer in your mind. I wish you a good day.